Did you know that 73% of your ad spend is attracting people who are never going to buy from you? You know, if you're spending over £2,000 per month on ads, but your calendar is still only kind of like half booked, I want to share with you the data behind why that's happening right now. If you give me about 5 minutes, because I want to share with you the exact metrics that we found that reveal where your ad budget is leaking right now. And then I can also share with you like the 3 data points that you need to track right now so that you can find out whether you're building an audience of buyers or just building an audience of scrollers. You know the ones I mean, don't you? For those who don't know me, I'm Tina from 𝘯𝘪𝘭𝘭. Now, since 2019, me and my son Dan, we've been working with online businesses and helping people to revive even cold leads, but also to transform underperforming funnels and turn them into high converting assets without them needing to start again from scratch or having to overhaul their entire system. And in every video right now, you're going to get one strategy or tactic that you can immediately implement after watching. Now, I want to share with you though something exciting. Here's what the numbers are telling us right now. When you look at most ad accounts spending about £2,000 or more per month, we're seeing something really interesting in that data. Now, the cost per lead looks really reasonable on most of these. Maybe £3, maybe £5, sometimes less actually. But when we're tracking those leads all the way through to booked calls, we're seeing that the conversion rate sits around 2 to 3%. And what that means is for every 100 leads that you're paying for, only 2 to 3 people actually get on a call with you. Every 100 leads, only 2 to 3 people get on a call with you. Now, most people look at that number and think the problem is like either the landing page or the email sequence not working, or it could be the offer itself. But it's not that, okay? Here's what the data is actually revealing to us right now. The problem's starting earlier than that. It's actually starting with those people who clicked on your ad in the first place. So what's happening is most people we're finding are doing exactly what that ad agency is telling them to do. They're being told to spend more on ads to get more volume. Okay, that kind of makes sense. The logic is simple. If 3% convert, then to get 10 booked calls, you roughly need 330 leads. So you increase your budget to £3,000 or £4,000 per month. Yeah. But here's what's happening when you track that data over 90 days. Your cost per lead is staying the same, well, roughly. Maybe it goes down slightly because of increased ad spend, and Facebook likes that. But look at this. Your lead to call conversion rate does not improve. It still stays at that 2 to 3%. So here's why that approach doesn't work from a data perspective. What's happening is Facebook's algorithm optimizes for the action you tell it to optimize for. So if you're running lead generation ads, it's looking for those people who click and submit the forms. And they're not usually the people who buy. They're not the people who book calls. They're not looking for people who buy. They're not looking for people who book calls. They're just looking for people who click and fill out forms. Yeah? And the data shows that the people who are most likely to click and submit their email are not the same people who are most likely to buy from you. There's actually a study that shows that the easier someone is to capture as a lead, the less qualified they tend to be as a buyer. So can you imagine this? By optimizing for volume, you're systematically attracting the wrong audience. That's not good, is it? So here's what I'm going to suggest that you track instead, because this is what we're seeing working right now. Okay, so 3 steps. Okay, the first thing you want to do, measure your hook rate. Now, the hook rate is the percentage of people who see your ad and watch past the first 3 seconds. Industry average for cold traffic is around 20 to 25%. But let me share something with you. I want to share this with you. When your content is polarizing and speaks directly to a specific problem that only your ideal clients experience, that hook rate just climbs. It climbs past 35, 45%, sometimes higher, yeah? Okay, and that's a data signal that tells you whether you're attracting the right people or just attracting anybody. You want a decent hook rate. The second thing you want to do is you want to track your 25% video view rate. And this is the percentage of people who watch at least 25% of your video. Okay, why does this matter? Because it matters because the data shows us that people who watch at least 25% or more of your content 8 times more likely to book in a call than people who watch less than 10%. That's a lot, isn't it? So think about this. When you rebuild a retargeting audience based upon the 25% of viewers, you're not retargeting just everyone who clicked. You're actually retargeting people who demonstrated genuine interest by investing their time in your content, and that's huge right now. This is what we call an invisible list, and the numbers prove it works. Clients who track this metric are reporting that their invisible list converts at 5 to 7% to book calls instead of just 2 to 3%. 5 to 7%, yeah? That's more than double the efficiency. Something you want to bear in mind, yeah? Then the third thing you want to do, this is actually really important. You want to calculate your cost per quality lead instead of the cost per lead. A quality lead is somebody who meets what we call your floor requirements. So think about this. If your flaw is that they need to be already running ads, for example, or already have an audience, for example, or already have an established business, for another example, then your quality lead metric only counts the people who fit that description of your own flaw client. Most people are tracking £3 per lead, but when you actually filter all these leads out for quality, it's actually like £15 per lead, per quality lead, sorry. That changes about how you evaluate everything in your ad performance. Because then if you think about this, if you're getting 100 leads in at £3 each, but only 10 of them are actually qualified, you're not spending £300 to get 100 leads in. You're actually spending £300 to get in 10 qualified leads. That's £30 per qualified lead, not £3 per qualified lead. Now, there's a real reason why this approach works. It's because it shifts your whole optimization target, makes it more realistic. So instead of like optimizing for clicks and form submissions, you're instead going to be optimizing for engagement depth. The data right now is consistently showing us that engagement depth is the strongest predictor of purchase intent, means that basically it's showing us that those are the people most likely to buy your product. Somebody who watches 50% of your video and then opts in is worth 10 times more than somebody who just skims your headline and submits their email in case you've got something that they fancy for free. So when you track your hook rate, your 25% view rate, and the cost per quality lead, you're actually measuring the metrics that actually predict your revenue, not just what we call vanity metrics, not just surface level engagement, which doesn't mean anything at the moment. And the metrics that tell you whether you're building an audience who will actually buy from you right now. And over time, you'll find as well that as Facebook's algorithm learns about the people who engage deeply with your content are your ideal clients, you're going to find that your cost per quality lead drops while everyone else's stays flat or increases. Okay, let me share with you the maths actually, because this is simple. Got a pen and paper? Pause the video and go grab one. Now, if you can double your lead to call conversion rate from 3% to 6% by focusing on quality over volume, you can cut your ad spend in half and get the same amount of booked calls instead of doubling it. Or, if you want to, you can keep your ad spend exactly the same and double your booked calls, which is what most people are looking for right now. But either way, your return on investment compounds over time because you're building an audience asset and not just buying leads. So think about this. If you are spending over £2,000 per month on ads and your calendar is still only half booked, go to your ads manager right now. Go check these three numbers. Your hook rate, you want it to be around 35 minimum or above. Your 25% view rate, and your cost per quality lead, not your cost per lead, okay, quality lead. And those three data points will tell you everything you need to know about whether you are building an audience of buyers or you're just building an audience of scrollers.